WSNY and WSNY HD Columbus.
Welcome to The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko, the show that brings you man-on-the-street interviews, celebrity guests, groundbreaking research, and heartwarming stories about the reasons we smile. Our show is also known as everything you've always wanted to know about dentistry, but we're too numb to ask. Hello, I'm General Dentist Dr. Kvitko, and thank you for joining me today.
The following views and opinions do not necessarily reflect those of this station, its staff, management, or parent company. To hear a replay of this show or one of the great shows that previously aired, log on to thereasonswesmile.com or iTunes, keyword Dr. Kvitko or The Reasons We Smile. Listeners should not use Dr. Kvitko's comments and advice in place of an actual dental exam.
Brighten your life with a smile that shows the professional touch of Dr. Kvitko.
Time now for The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko. Call 459-9769 to discuss your dental issues. Now, here's your host, Dr. Kvitko.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Reasons We Smile. Thank you for joining me today. It's going to be a great day. We have some wonderful guests in the studio with us today. It's going to be fun. And what it is this weekend, the American Birding Expo is being held at the Grange Insurance Audubon Center in Columbus. And I welcome birder Bob Hargis and Mike Lilligren, an outdoorsman and co-owner of Maven Outdoor Equipment Company, to the studio. So before we get started with these guys and before I read their bio, let me just ask you to go to my Facebook page, Dr. Kvitko and Associates, and like us. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Dr. Kvitko. All right, so let's see. Let me tell you about Bob Hargis. Bob is a retired natural science teacher of junior high and high school at-risk youth in California. He now lives in Riverton, Wyoming, and travels the world with his wife, Suzanne, in the quest for birds, wildlife, and new friends. Bob began birding in California in 1969. He has traveled to bird in over 62 countries, and his favorite bird is the one he has not yet seen. That's pretty cool. And then Mike Lilligren, growing up in an Army family, took Mike to all parts of the United States in his youth. Rock climbing brought him to Lander. That's Lander, Wyoming, in 1995. It was easy for him to fall in love with Lander and its community. In 2000, Mike started working in the outdoor industry with Brunton as the Director of Product Development. In 2008, he left to start a small custom outdoor products firm in Lander. And in 2013, he started the Maven Outdoor Equipment Company that specializes in high-performance optics with direct sales. He continues to be passionate about the outdoors and shares that love with his wife, Suzanne, and daughter, Mackenzie. Mike's belief is that with a strong team, anything can be done. No summit is too high, no route too difficult, no idea impossible. That's awesome, Mike. Well, thank you guys for coming to the show today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kvitko.
Thank you so much.
We really appreciate you having me. By the way, Bob has that radio voice that I don't have. I'm jealous. So,
AM.
Oh, AM radio. Got it. He's a morning drive guy, right? Or that's what you'd like to be. Okay, so hey, I'm curious. First of all, how did this expo come to be in Columbus?
Well, we've been working with, there's a couple of organizations, the American Birding Association, and then a great publication called Birdwatchers Digest. They've been talking about this for some time. There's a big expo like this in England, huge European festival where all the birders around England come together and talk about birding and birding travel and birding products. And so they really modeled this around that. And Bill Thompson III, who is the publisher of Birdwatchers Digest, really has been trying to get this together. And Columbus is the perfect venue for it. It's the Grange Insurance Audubon Center is fantastic. It's great, centrally located, so people all around the country can get here. Columbus is a wonderful city with lots of amenities and an easy travel destination. And, of course, the weather is fantastic right now, except for yesterday.
Except for yesterday. Luckily, you guys are inside, though, right?
We are inside, and there's big tents. And so it was a lot of fun yesterday. Everybody was inside, but today's promises to be wonderful, and I think we'll be...
And it's going on again today?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, from, I think it was 9 o'clock, right? Does it start at 9?
Mm-hmm.
And it goes till 5?
Till 5:15.
Okay. So what we need to do is let people know, first of all, how much does it cost?
It costs nothing. Zero. Free.
That's
free
good.
to the public. Everybody should come down. We had a bunch of kids down yesterday, first-time birders, learning about products and birds, and there's presentations throughout the day.
So if you're looking for... Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I think it was really exceptional to note how few people, what an amazing center it is to have right in the middle of an urban setting. And to hear the story of how this area has been recovered from being pretty much of a blight area into really beautiful habitat and getting virtually all of the birds that are uncommon right in the middle of town. And what was really shocking yesterday was how many people really didn't know that this was here. And
I didn't know this was here, which is why you guys are here.
Beautiful,
because I wanted to get the word out.
Facility, and you should well be proud.
So Columbus has this distinction, a little bit like Indianapolis, of being within, I think it's 500 miles of, is it 60 or 70% of the population?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that explains it. So, and parking, is that free or?
Mm-hmm.
Parking is also free. You will note that you will have to walk just a little bit.
Okay.
Because the parking area is probably 100 yards or so from the
Football
actual
field?
facility.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you do have to park. And if you have some travel difficulties, you can ask permission to drop at the door. But
Okay.
just to avoid congestion, I think they park.
Well,
a
everybody
little
knows the length of a football field. That's how we measure things in Columbus,
Of
by the way.
course.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's what we hear. Wyoming, we haven't had much football success.
So if you guys, okay, we're going to have to probably give the address at some point so that if people just want to use their GPS. So yeah, I don't think I have that here, but
Oh,
one of us
I
could-
do.
Oh, you have it? Do you
I
want to
do.
give it
I
out?
popped it up here.
Okay, awesome.
It's at 505 West Whittier Street in Columbus. So you can always just Google the Grange Insurance Audubon Center, but it's also at 505 West Whittier.
Okay. Now, in Columbus, do we have an exceptionally large or diverse population of birds, or is it just that we're centrally located for travel?
Ohio is a very much of an epicenter for warbler species and migrants. Migration is very big. A lot of these birds now have left for Latin America and South America, and with their little wings beating
Okay.
to survive to get as far south as Tierra del Fuego in southern
Is that Chile?
southern South America.
Oh, South America. Yeah.
And but it's a wonderful area, and it's kind of a cusp between the eastern species and the western species. So
Oh, neat.
there's a lot of birds here that I haven't seen. So
Okay. Now, let's talk about Maven a little bit, which is Mike's company. And Maven is a trusted expert, one with knowledge based on accumulation of experience. But I didn't know that until I met you and honestly went to your website. So how'd you come up with the word for that? I mean, how did you know that was what that was?
Oh, we
Does that mean I'm like a Maven dentist?
It is. You're a Maven dentist. We took that name from a book by Malcolm Gladwell called The Tipping Point.
Okay.
And it talks about various people in your community. And one of those people in your community, whatever community, dental community, the birding community, Bob's a birding maven.
Got it.
And so in all the different circles you travel, there are mavens, there are experts, there are people that you go to for when you have questions or want some direction. And so when we were starting this company, these are the types of people that we like spending time with, the people who are experts in the little areas that they travel, those circles they travel. And so that's where we brought the name, that's where we took the name from, and why we decided. It's not that we want to be mavens, I mean, sure we do, but we also love spending our time in learning from mavens.
And you knew that word before you decided to use it? Because I'm thinking if I wanted to name my company after something cool, how would I even look that up?
Well, yeah, I have two partners. There's three of us that run the business.
Okay.
We're all equal partners,
Okay.
and so we don't actually have a set CEO or president. We leadership by committee.
Okay.
And one of my partners, Brendan Weaver, is the marketing director, the creative director of the company, and he brought that name to the table.
Okay.
And we liked it. We were tossing around 40 names at the time,
All
but
right.
that one really just filtered right to the top. We liked the way it sounded. We liked the way it looked. Short.
So one of the ones that didn't fly was Binoculars Are Us?
Yeah, binoculars are us. Or I was really voting for
Already taken.
world's greatest
Oh, that was
binocular.
already taken?
Yeah.
What? What?
Yeah, I was really voting for world's greatest binocular.com.
Oh, you were?
But that didn't work.
Too many syllables or too many
syllables,
letters.
Yeah.
All right.
good eye.
Now, it is a dental show, and I'm a dentist, so I always want to tie in if I can. And in doing my research for the show, I discovered that there are no birds that have teeth. Now, you told me off air, Bob. Tell me again. You thought there was an exception to that.
Well, they're not truly teeth in the chewing predigestive process. Of course, I'm not a dentist on this, but there are bird adaptations in their bill, their
Okay.
beaks that allow them to grasp or kind of cut up things, something particularly of some ducks called mergansers, and certainly some seabirds have.
Okay. And they're
the ability to
like little
grasp
projections in their bill that kind of simulate teeth, but I guess they're not officially
and grasping and holding on.
Okay. Because we'll probably, if we have time, we'll probably talk a little bit more about that. I guess it was 116 million years ago, and we don't really, it's only a half-hour show, so but anyway, that there was a time when birds did have teeth, and then they lost them 116 million years ago. And and this is, I grabbed this article from Audubon, which I assume is the name of their magazine.
Right, well, one of the publications.
One of the publications, yeah. So anyway, but the reality is as we sit here now, there is no bird that actually has teeth. So that's important because those of you that listen on a regular basis know that every week we do a Dr. Kvitko's question of the day, and we're going to do that now. But before we do, we would like you to listen to this.
This station will not be held liable for any contesting during The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko. Participation in the contest allows Dr. Kvitko to record and broadcast your name and call. One winner per household. Prizes are non-transferable, cannot be substituted, and are subject to taxes and fees. This station cannot be responsible for the inability to enter the contest, whether due to equipment malfunction or telephone difficulties. All decisions of Dr. Kvitko concerning this contest or eligibility are final.
And now it's time for Dr. Kvitko's question of the day.
All right, and the winner is going to receive free flowers from Weistember Florist. They'll be delivered to your place of business this Tuesday afternoon. The question is, although birds did have teeth 116 million years ago, they no longer do. Is that true or is that false? All right, the number to call, 459-9769. That's 459-9769. So go ahead and call now.
Stay tuned to Dr. Kvitko.
Hi, my name's Athena. My family and I have been patients of Dr. Kvitko and Associates for over 10 years. We've gone to Dr. Kvitko for numerous reasons, especially cleanings, crowns, and root canals. Since going to Dr. Kvitko, I get compliments every day on how beautiful my smile is, and people always ask me how I get my teeth so white. I used to be afraid of the dentist, but Dr. Kvitko and his staff make you feel very comfortable and relaxed, and I'm not afraid anymore. I would recommend Dr. Kvitko for all your family's dental needs.
Call Dr. Kvitko and Associates today, 614-262-9588.
Dr. Kvitko, let's go!
Hi, I'm Johanna, and I've been a dental patient at Dr. Kvitko and Associates for over 10 years. I would really recommend Dr. Kvitko for your family's dental care. They're friendly. They're always there to help me. I feel like family when I walk in the door. It's clean, it's comfortable. Even if I have to bring my kids, they have a great playroom for them. I know when I'm with Dr. Kvitko, they are taking that extra time to make sure that I'm going to be the healthiest I can be. They've been great. I love them.
Call Dr. Kvitko and Associates today, 614-262-9588.
Hi, this is Richard Simmons. Dr. Kvitko's here, and he's going to help you with all of your problems. Are your teeth yellow? He can fix that. Are you missing a tooth? He can put a new one in. How is that?
That's very good. Thank you, Richard.
Hi, I'm Dominique Reichert. Like what you hear? Why not use the show to promote your product or service by becoming a sponsor? Call 614-262-9588 to learn how. That's 614-262-9588. Call now.
All right, we're back, and we don't have a person with the correct answer yet, so let me just restate the question, then we'll leave the lines open while I talk with my guests, Mike Lilligren and Bob Hargis. All right, so the question is, true or false, there are no birds that have teeth, and you have a 50-50 chance. So think about it. If you've seen any robins with teeth or blue jays with teeth, you probably know the answer to that. The number 459-9769, 459-9769. So you can go ahead and feel free to call while I am speaking with my guests. If you hear whispering in the background, that's my producer talking to the eventual winner. All right, so if you're just joining us, I'm Dr. Kvitko. This is The Reasons We Smile. And in the studio with me is Bob Hargis, who is a retired natural science teacher and a birder. And also Mike Lilligren, who owns or co-owns the company called Maven Outdoor Equipment Company. Hey, Bob, tell me, how did you become a birder? I know it was 1969. What happened in your life to say, I'm going to do this?
You know, it's interesting. That's a very common question for, especially when people get older and remember that point at your life when it kind of
When something changed?
epiphany happens.
Right.
I can remember, I think, when I was just out of college, that's later than most people get to, I had a principal of my first outdoor science camp, and he said, look at Hargis. He said, you've learned the frogs, the trees, the bushes, the plants, even some of the insects, but it's time that you discovered the mystery of bird migration and birding. And he gave me some old beat-up binoculars that he had laying around and showed me a Townsend's warbler. I remember that.
That's the name of a bird?
Yeah, it's a bird. It's a gorgeous little bird.
Okay. Is it one of the pictures you guys sent me?
Yeah, and I don't think so.
No, actually, I don't. Yeah.
But I have a warbler. But
you want to
I
hold
said,
it up,
oh
Mike?
my gosh, I just, the shock of these have been around all my life, and
yeah,
and that was it.
And so
then from then on, it was just
like,
kind of learning them.
I wanted to see the next bird and the next bird.
Right. And
you have the picture there, Mike?
I do. It's it's really small.
Oh, it's one.
But warblers are not much bigger than this
high
picture.
there.
Yeah, this
Oh,
one right
really?
here.
They're little
10
tiny.
gram.
Yeah, they're about this big.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, interesting. And so
they're like little Christmas tree ornaments.
Really, if you get one to land on your Christmas tree for a couple of minutes.
Yep.
And then this has taken you to 62 countries.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. My wife and I just did 3 months on our own in southern Africa.
Wow. There are only 162 countries out there, right?
That's right. And
so you have 100 to
some
go.
that we're never going to.
Like Syria?
Yeah, well, at this point, although there's some great birds there,
really?
They're in trouble.
So I'm going to assume, okay, you do birding kind of as you, you know what? We'll interrupt ourselves because it looks like we have maybe our winner. So hello there. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's your name?
Karen.
Hi, Karen. Thank you for calling. Do you have an answer to Dr. Kavitko's question of the day?
The answer is true.
That is. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know. That's a very interesting fact. You'd think it would have teeth. That's very interesting.
Me too. I thought somewhere out there was a bird with teeth or something. It's funny, when I was researching it, I typed in, do birds have teeth? And I got a bunch of websites that said no, and one that said, birds that have teeth. I didn't, so I had to go there. And it was like what Bob was saying, ones that kind of look like they have teeth. So, Karen, what do you do for a living?
I work in a factory in Grove City. We make parts for Honda.
Oh, cool. And so you don't live very far from the Audubon Center.
No.
Yeah, maybe you should stop by.
I will. I will do so. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, hey, stay on the line because we have to get the information from you to make sure you get those free flowers from Vice Denver, okay? And
okay, thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye now. So, okay, so now birding, you do that kind of solo. Well, you do it with your wife, but you're out there by yourself.
What you very quickly learn is that there are groups of people with this keen interest, and in virtually every community in North America. Wyoming is a little difficult because of our population demographic, very very small, but you can always go to inquire at Audubon Society, and they will give you directions, or online for American Birding Association that will point you in the direction of a local group.
Oh, so if you don't want to do it alone, you can pair up with some other folks that are
and
already
I think
going.
that's part of the fun of it, just to go out. It's a way to get into the outdoors, and even if there aren't that many birds around, it's a good chance to get away from the hustle bustle.
Okay. Now, so I'm assuming because it's relatively solo, even though you go with groups, there might be some bird stories, like fish stories.
Oh.
I saw that bird, and you're thinking, no way could you see that bird because they've been extinct for 10,000 years or whatever.
Or they're just not seen around this area. Yes, Bob has told me many of these stories where people are, oh, I saw that.
So
that's really appointment. Credibility is a very important thing to lose because it does rely on honesty.
Right,
to having seen it. But if you get caught, your street cred, as the kids say, is out of the mix. I mean, you're suspect.
Okay. So, but that brings me to Mike and his company. You sell binoculars, right, Mike?
We sure do.
For birders. And so do you have like an attachment that you can attach a camera to your binoculars so that they can prove that they saw this bird?
You know, we don't have an attachment that we make, but there's a number of attachments out there, and there's a company, there's a couple of companies, but one that I've been using is called PhoneScope.
Okay.
That has a little case. You can stick your phone in there, attach it up there, and sure enough, it's really easy to take a picture using your phone, which a lot of people do nowadays. And you can point it right through the binoculars and take a picture of whatever you're looking at. And it's also great for sharing with the people that are around you. You know, for sharing with a young child or you know, just the community. So it's a neat way to do it. So there are a couple different companies that make attachments that you can attach your phone or a camera. You can attach an SLR camera or a digital camera to it. And it's very popular, especially with spotting scopes. But where of course you're reaching way out there. Binoculars, spotting scopes are typically mounted on a tripod and very stable, so it's easier to take that picture and share that picture. But you can do it also with a binocular.
Well, I took a picture of what I think was a chicken hawk, maybe, that landed on my back fence. It kind of was like two-tone brown and good size. I mean, we're talking, and my wife, we feed the wildlife. We in fact, the name of the show is The Reasons We Smile, and watching the birds and watching the wildlife is a lot of fun. It makes her smile, makes me smile.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I took the picture and I wanted to bring it, and I guess I was trying to call it up on my phone because it's not very clear. I don't know that I would. But you're saying you can hold the phone up to the binocular.
Yeah, this actually is it's kind of a phone case that you slip your phone into, and it has a little circular mount that mounts right up to the eyepiece of the binocular or the spotting scope, and that holds it and locks it in.
Oh, it locks it right to the binoculars.
Exactly. So you get a very stable picture and a very clear picture.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Okay. Because I zoomed in to 4 times, and even though it was literally just 20 feet away from me, it's a tiny little speck on my picture.
Absolutely. And the optical zoom, the digital zoom on a phone is just not powerful enough to really reach out there. And that's where you're using the lenses of a scope or of a binocular are built for that zooming. So they get that power and that clarity and resolution much better.
And it keeps people from making fish stories.
Yes, it does. and it's also new. I mean, we're talking 3 or 4 years. This phone process is amazingly new. I mean, we're talking less than three or 4 years.
Oh,
but
really?
it's hugely popular.
Very popular now.
Digiscoping is what they actually call it. It actually has its own
That's
term.
been around a while.
Digiscoping, which is taking a digital photograph using a scope.
Okay.
You can also do it with a binocular. Is incredibly popular now, and you see it all over Facebook.
Tell me where I can find that again.
The company that I've been using most recently is called PhoneScope.
Okay, PhoneScope.
And that's the one I think is really good.
And but I'd have to buy a pair of your binoculars and a PhoneScope. No?
You'd have to buy. You can attach it to any binocular or spotting scope.
Okay.
But of course, I would recommend mine.
I highly recommend that too.
Maven products, right? Maven.
Maven binoculars.
Mavenbuilt.com.
I think we need to go to a break. Am I right, producer Jim? Yep. Okay. So, hey, stay with me. I'm Dr. Kvitko. This is The Reasons We Smile. We'll be right back.
This is Clark Kellogg. Stay tuned for more of Dr. Kvitko.
Here at Dr. Kvitko and Associates, we are intensely dedicated to providing the absolute best dental care. The word mediocre isn't in our vocabulary. We just won't take shortcuts. Isn't that what you want in the person you trust with sharp objects in your mouth? Of course it is. However, people tend to assume high quality means expensive. But guess what? We're more affordable than you think. Our fees are about the same as one of those chains. But with us, you get our 34 years of experience and our unwavering commitment to quality. Discover for yourself. Call us at 614-262-9588.
When it comes to the overall health of your teeth, trust the experience of Dr. Kvitko and Associates. From dental cleanings and exams to restoration, dental implants, and pediatric care, Dr. Kvitko and Associates can give you something to smile about.
There's a lot of places out there that offer discount dentistry, but at Dr. Kvitko's, he actually takes the time.
See what Dr. Kvitko and Associates can do for you. Conveniently located on High Street in Clintonville, call 262-9588 or online at drkvitko.com.
I'm Grandpa, and I go to Dr. Kvitko, and I still have all my teeth. Real ones. Where's my glasses?
I'm gonna miss that smile. I'm gonna miss you, my friend. Even though it hurts the way it ended up, I'd do it all again.
day.
All right, we're back. I'm Dr. Kvitko. This is The Reasons We Smile. We were having a wonderful conversation off the air. Sorry we couldn't include you guys in it. Or maybe we can. Tell me about what we were talking about. James Bond.
James Bond was, the producer just introduced me to the, tickle my memory, wrote the Birds of the West Indies. And this is when Ian Fleming, the author of James Bond series, was hanging out in the West Indies, Virgin Islands, and he and Mr. Bond were very close associates, especially in the afternoons, and with some and he thought it was a very cool name. He was looking for a title character, but James Bond was very good.
Good. Okay, that's cool. So there's that connection.
And they were both birders.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, they were.
Okay. So, Bob, tell me about one of your most interesting bird hunts.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, and by the way, I want to, you know what, before you answer, I'm so happy that we can be talking about a hunt that doesn't involve a gun.
Yeah.
Because
it's the same motive.
I used the word hunt in quotes when I wrote it. And, I was devastated when that dentist in Minnesota, wherever he was, killed that lion. And the world is devastated.
Cecil.
Yeah. And we, I'm very embarrassed that I'm in the same profession as that gentleman. But so I've been avoiding, talking about the word hunting because of that. And so, but this is different. This is you're armed with a camera, binoculars, and just the naked eye.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's one of the most interesting ones?
Basically, it's really truly the same motivation to go to see. If you're going to look for new birds, it's of course there's the joy of seeing the chickadees and the small birds every day, and that you're kind of your neighborhood friends. You're, as you say, Doctor, you like watching them in your own home and feeding them, but to see something new, basically, when you put a new bird on, for example, I can think of the most gorgeous bird in the world, arguably, is going to Costa Rica and seeing a resplendent quetzal. It's got so many colors, and it's iridescent and large and almost surreal in its beauty. That is very cool, but it is basically the same as hunting to get them without the crosshairs.
Right. So you capture a memory.
Absolutely.
Rather than capturing the animal. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think even many hunters now, the hunting community really appreciates the outdoors too. I mean, it's not exclusive to bird watching only.
Awesome. And then, Mike, what made you get involved in birding? Were you a birder first and said, hey, we need better binoculars, or you were building binoculars and decided that birding was a good source of client base?
Well, I really come from the product end of it, and so I in the early 2000s I worked for a company that was making binoculars and starting to make very high performance binoculars, and we never quite did it right. So it's nice to now have my own company so I can go in that direction. But definitely I came from the product and use end of it, and I wasn't a birder. I've always been an appreciator of wildlife. And I really like the culture of birding. I like spending time with passionate people, and birders are a super passionate group about what they care about. And as Bob was talking about, one of the shared interests between all the markets, and we sell to hunting markets quite a lot. One of the real shared drivers of some of the people of the real core of those markets is conservation, is caring about the environment that you're spending time in. And the vast majorities of the hunters that I've spent time with do that. They really care about the conservation of that environment, and birders as well. And so I'm a very novice birder. I really love spending time doing it. Of course, it's wonderful to see what you can see, but I'm new to that.
Hey, we're almost out of time, literally. Sure. We just have like 15 seconds left. So tell me again, where is this event? What time? How do people find it so that if anybody wants to come? Okay.
Yeah, so it's at the Grange Insurance Audubon Center. That's down on Whittier Street, 505 Whittier, I think, 505 West Whittier. And it is from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's free and open to the public, so join us. Come see all kinds of wonderful things.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys for being on the studio with me.
Thank you, Dr. Kvitko.
I hope I can get back down there today myself. All right, so that's all the time we have. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Dr. Kvitko and visit my office Facebook page and like us. Be sure to join me next Sunday and every Sunday morning right here on your favorite station. Goodbye.
Before we leave, let me tell y'all a little something. Before we leave, let me tell y'all a little something.
This is Carly Red from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, the hit show on VH1, urging you to tune in next week with my dentist, Dr. Kavitko.
If you're interested in learning more about this and other dental health topics, go to thereasonswesmile.com to access full episodes of Dr. Kavitko's show.
If you'd like Dr. Kavitko, the world's most interesting dentist, to speak at your next event, please call 614-262-9588. That's 614-262-9588, or send an email to speaking@thereasonswesmile.com.